Hello and welcome to our mini documentary on the future of the high street. Today we are going to be looking at different innovations in store and how different UK brands are introducing new technologies to make their physical presence more in tune with our digital world. And we're going to start off by looking at Audi City, which was introduced in 2012 and aspects of which are now being rolled out to other Audi dealerships. If you want to check out more videos on in-store technology, check out the Marketing Magazine website or the Brand Republic YouTube channel.
So Audi City opened here in central London in the summer of 2012, just ahead of the Olympics, as a global pilot for a number of aspects of our retail approach. Not just the technological systems that have been put in here to create a much more immersive experience for customers, configuring a car, looking at the myriad of options available to them, but also the hosting approach of having non-sales hosts taking people through that process. It's been a great success here. As a result of that, the concept has been rolled out across a number of cities in Shanghai, in Berlin, Moscow is in development, and there are plans not just to take the Audi City concept into other urban areas, but also to take the technology into Audi centres across the UK and elsewhere in the world. We've sold over 400 cars from this site last year, to 70% increase in turnover from when it was simply Audi Mayfair, and I think that's testament to the whole concept, so the combination of the fantastic technology and the hosting process.
Car rental firm Hertz is another brand we took a look at, and they've got a store in Marble Arch which has recently opened, and they're looking at new ways to attract customers in store and to keep them there.
We've got a widespread use of technology in our branch here at Marble Arch, so ranging from the Discovery Zone, which talks about local attractions, museums, places to eat, that real information that customers are looking for when visiting London. We also use a piece of software that allows us to actually dictate content to the customer. So here you can see we've got a vehicle with iconic imagery of London that we can actually dictate and rotate as and when we see fit. With the customers actually liaising with our members of staff in branch, we actually have dual screen technology. So if a customer is renting a Ford Mondeo, the customer can actually come in, and using our dual screen technology we can actually get that vehicle up and present. We also have our express rent kiosks, which uses a combination of latest technology but actually still gives the customer that face-to-face dialogue. So at the moment you would come in, there may be some people actually speaking with our members of staff here at branch. The express rent kiosk actually saves time, and the customer, it's very simple, easy to use technology where they click a button, pick up a handset, and they have that face-to-face dialogue with a member of staff in our res centre over in Dublin.
Argos' store in Shoreditch is one of 6 new concept stores that is swapping the much beloved Argos catalogue for tablet devices.
This is a test and trial that we have launched in 6 stores, so 4 in London, 1 in Essex and 1 in Scotland. And there are a lot of components to it. One is, you mentioned the tablets, but there are many other things around. So you can see the vibrancy of the screens and the media that is behind, that can be very flexible, adjusted very quickly as well, centrally, including in stores. We have seen different components where the desks are much more open, so it means that actually the teams can interact with the customers much more. They're equipped with Navigator to help them around that as well. To make it all work, here you're seeing the front of it, but we had to adjust all the supply chain that goes behind as well. You're seeing in the back some of the pieces about how quickly we get your items if you have pre-ordered them online already, so that you get them in 60 seconds. So it's 5-6 different moving parts that we have as part of the trials, and that's what we want to learn actually from each of those until we get the absolute right recipe before going broader.
We're already talking to a number of our investors about the customer private lounge, so that's a closed area within the showroom where customers can engage not just with a large touchscreen and create large-scale images of the car they're considering, but also pick up real paint samples, real leather samples, but simply placing them on the table changes the configuration of the vehicle that they're then seeing on the imaging. So it's a very immersive, engaging experience that takes the technology of a digital configuration that adds in some of the tactile elements of real car components. I believe we'll ever get to a stage where there are no physical cars on show at any of our showrooms. I think as I said, the purchase of a car is still a hugely emotionally engaging experience, and people do want that tactile experience. What we are working on is a much closer integration of the digital consideration phase and the physical purchase process.
Yes, we recognise that car rental as an industry is heavily commoditised. So with that, we've actually tried to create an experience that not only differentiates us from the competitors, but actually really gives that value-add offering to our customers. And we think we've established that and achieved that with Marble Arch. We recognise that we need to be different, we need to be constantly innovating, just so it gives us a differentiator against our competitors, but again it keeps us moving with the trends that we're seeing in the marketplace today. So with the technology that we've got here at Marble Arch, so whether or not it's the express rent kiosks, the discovery zone, the experiential activity where people can actually have their photos taken with a Audi Q3 or a Lamborghini that we had in situ here a month or so ago, it really does keep us ahead of the game, so to speak, and we recognise that is quite important.
46% of our transactions happening online, but 90% of the transactions taking place here, the end of the journey taking place here at the end of it, where customers come here for collection. So I think having a format, having 750 stores, touching 95% of the British population less than 10 miles from where they live, with very easy collection points and where they can start their journey outside of store, I think it's very, very compelling. 70% of the British population is buying with us, 20%, that's, again, 46% online, 20% on mobile. So to me, it's more the interesting piece is more having all of it together, the cohesiveness of all of it, having one single journey overall, but where the customer can choose and pick it up on their way with the immediacy that we offer. That's what is very compelling.
We're piloting salespeople's a tablet-based system for salespeople, and there's a whole series of functionalities that will be built into that going forward. And I think one of the key things that we will be looking at is taking a much more software-led approach rather than a hardware-led approach. I was in the States last week in the Apple store in San Francisco looking at how they've taken that iBeacon concept. I think we just need to think about how best to deal with customer adoption of these technologies, in terms of, do we need to be asking customers to keep downloading more and more applications specifically so that they can enhance our retail experience. So I think there's some interesting challenges around how engaged customers are going to be in terms of enabling themselves to benefit from some of those systems that, what's in it for the customer, I think is the key question.